the A320. Let's start our review with normal arrival and departure procedures. Standard operating procedure requires that the first step in any door operation is to verify the status of your door. The CSD will instruct the flight attendants to disarm when the fasten seatbelt sign has been extinguished. To disarm, pull the arming lever up to the disarmed position. Remove the pin from the slot on the door and push it firmly into the hole on the arming lever. Ensure that the streamer is free of the door hinge. Verify the door is disarmed by checking the arming lever is in the disarmed position. The slide mode window reads disarmed. The pin is installed and the streamer is visible. Walk to the opposite door and verify it is disarmed as well. Confirm to the CSD that your door is disarmed and cross-checked. After verifying your door is disarmed, assess outside conditions to ensure it is safe to continue. Then rotate the door handle to the open position to unlock the door. Push the door out and forward against the fuselage. Use the door assist handles. Ensure the gust lock is engaged. Once the captain has given permission to close the doors, push down on the gust lock to disengage it. Use the door assist handles to slide the door fully aft and then inward slightly. Rotate the door handle to the closed position to close and lock the door. Verify the door is properly closed by ensuring the door locking indicator reads locked. When the bridge starts to retract, the CSD will instruct the flight attendants to arm the doors. Prior to arming a door, depress the pin head to pull the pin out of the arming lever. Stow the pin in the slot on the door and fold the streamer so that it is free of the door hinge. Then arm the door. Push the arming lever down to the armed position. Verify the door is armed by checking the arming lever is in the armed position. The slide mode window reads armed. Remember to complete the procedure. Walk to the opposite door and verify it is armed. Confirm to the CSD that your door is armed and cross-checked. Now let's look at the location of emergency and safety equipment. We'll begin on the flight deck. Behind the first officer's seat is a restraint kit for security purposes. For firefighting, you will find a fire crash axe and protective gloves. Behind the captain's seat, there is a halon extinguisher. In the closet behind the captain's seat, there is a search mirror and a smoke hood. There is a life vest stowed at each crew seat. Beside the jump seat at 1L, there is a megaphone. In each compartment under the double jump seat at 1L, there is a manual release tool. In the first overhead bin at 1L, there are 2 portable oxygen bottles. In a compartment above the forward closet, you will find a smoke hood and a first aid kit. Beside the forward closet, there is a halon extinguisher and a portable oxygen bottle restraint pouch. In the aft overhead bin, left side, there is an emergency medical kit, a megaphone, and 6 adult-child life vests. In the next bin are 7 infant life vests. In the left and right dog houses, behind the last row of seats, are smoke hoods and portable oxygen bottles. Under the center aft jump seat, there is a manual release tool. In a compartment behind the jump seat at 2L, there is a halon extinguisher. A first aid kit is located in the headrest. Under the jump seat at 2L, you will find 1 manual release tool. In the overhead bin, last row, right side, you will find 8 infant life vests. Under the jump seat at 2R, there is a halon extinguisher and a water extinguisher. Every flight attendant jump seat is equipped with a flashlight and a life vest. Now, let's have a look at the oxygen systems on the A320. The flight deck masks are enclosed in a compartment at each seat. To operate, squeeze the red levers to remove the mask. Place the harness over your head with the mask covering your nose and mouth. Release the red levers to allow the oxygen to flow. Each mask incorporates smoke goggles. The passenger cabin of the A320 is equipped with chemical oxygen generators. Pulling on one mask releases a pin, which activates the generator to allow the flow of oxygen to all masks attached to that unit. Once started, the flow will last for approximately 12 minutes and cannot be turned off. Oxygen flow is confirmed when the inline flow indicator is visible. If an oxygen compartment fails to open, it can be opened by inserting the pin end of the manual release tool into the hole in the compartment door to release the latch. If the manual release tool is not readily available, use a pin or sharp object. Emergency communication procedures on the A320. When you hear the 3-chime signal, the final warning to the cabin crew to be seated, flight attendants must pick up the handset, press the reset button, and re-stow the handset. For flight attendants to contact the flight deck in an emergency, pick up the handset. Press the Emer call switch once. Indications on the flight deck of this call are a series of tones. The emergency call and the ACP yellow attendant lights will illuminate. The series of 3 chimes will not stop until the call is answered. There is an evacuation signal system panel on the flight deck at door 1L and at door 2L. Any one of these panels may be used to initiate an evacuation. To initiate an evacuation from either of the cabin panels, press the command button. Upon hearing the signal, silence the horn and conduct the evacuation. To open the door with slide inflation, assess outside conditions, verify the door is armed, and rotate the door handle to the open position. Once door movement is started, let go of the door handle. The door's pneumatic power assist should completely open the door. Slide inflation is complete in approximately 4 seconds. If the slide fails to inflate, hold on and pull the manual inflation handle. Then step into your protected position. To open the door without slide inflation, assess outside conditions, disarm the door, rotate the door handle to the open position, and using the door assist handles, push the door out and forward. To open a window exit, assess outside conditions, remove the upper handle cover, pull in and down on the upper handle while grasping the lower handhold. Turn the window sideways and throw it out the exit opening as far forward as possible. If the slide fails to inflate, pull down on the manual inflation handle. Visually check to ensure the ramp slide is inflated by looking aft, outside the aircraft. Although highly unlikely, it may be necessary to evacuate through the flight deck windows. To open a window, depress the button on the handle and rotate it aft. To evacuate, hold down on this access cover. Throw the rope overboard and climb down. To exit, put one leg out first, followed by your body. All exits may be used in a land evacuation. The responsibility of the captain and first officer include completing the abnormal and emergency checklist, giving the evacuation signal, assisting with the evacuation as required, and evacuating through the flight deck windows if necessary. Position 1L, the CSD, sits at the outboard jump seat at 1L. If necessary, 1L will activate the emergency light switch, which illuminates the emergency lighting system. 1L will assess and open 1L, conduct an evacuation, and must also check the condition of the flight deck crew. 1L will evacuate themselves after removing the forward megaphone. Position 2L sits at the jump seat at 2L. 2L will assess and open 2L and conduct an evacuation there. 2L will evacuate themselves after removing the aft first aid kit. Position 1R sits at the inboard jump seat at 1L. 1R will assess and open 1R and conduct an evacuation. 1R will evacuate themselves after removing the forward first aid kit. Position 2RA sits at the aisle jump seat in the aft cabin. 2RA will move to the overwing exit area when practical. 2RA will open or direct the opening of the 4 overwing window exits if they have not been opened already by passengers. 2RA will evacuate themselves after removing the aft megaphone. Position 2R sits at the jump seat at 2R. 2R will assess and open 2R and remove the emergency medical kit. It is the responsibility of each crew member to remove their flashlight when necessary and do a thorough cabin check before evacuating. On the A320, all exits may be used for a water evacuation. However, the door exits are the preferred exits as they are equipped with slides that can be used as hang-on flotation devices. All crew members and passengers will don a life vest. Passengers who use the door exits must be directed to inflate their life vest, jump into the water, and move away. Flight attendants must direct passengers who use the window exits to step out foot first, inflate their life vests, and jump into the water from the leading edge of the wing. Passengers will then swim to the nearest slide. Once the water evacuation is complete, crew members will detach the slide, then inflate their own life vests, and jump into the water. To detach the slide from the aircraft, lift the flap on the girt apron. Pull the quick release handle. Then disconnect the mooring line by cutting it with a knife. Instruct the passengers to stay in the water and hold on to the lifeline.